Meaning is everything in communication. How we view the world and express our ideas are channeled through language. If we want to know the meaning of a word, we can just look it up in the dictionary, right? But it's a little bit more complicated than that because there are problems with relying in the dictionary to give a word meaning. One of which is that dictionary is made up of people like us who still need some other ways to figure out what the word means or giving out meaning. So today we are going to discuss about semantics. Since Sir Manikani already discussed syntax, we will go up to the next level, which is the meaning of a language. However, we will be focusing today about semantics. But before we go to our discussion proper, my high respect to our instructor, Sir Mildito Valles, to my classmates. I am Jennifer Abayanjes, and welcome to Semantics. Semantics is a major branch of linguistics dedicated to the study of meaning in language. But there's more to semantics than this. Semantics is the study of meaning in language in a different level. It could be in a word level, phrase level, or sentence level. We can also compare semantics with syntax because they are kind of relevant. Sometimes we confuse semantics with syntax. For example, John saw the man from the restaurant. So, this sentence is actually ambiguous because there are two meaning. The first one is John saw the man from the restaurant. The first meaning is that John and the man saw each other in the restaurant and or they met in the restaurant and probably John later saw him elsewhere. The second meaning is that John was in the restaurant when he saw the man. So, this kind of ambiguity is not because of the word, it's because of the structure. And this level of ambiguity is not part of semantics, it's syntax. This is actually called structural ambiguity, and that could be accounted to syntax. However, if we say that meet me at the bank, the word bank is ambiguous because it has two meanings. The first meaning is a financial institution where you can deposit or withdraw your money. The second one is in a riverbank. So, meet me at the bank is ambiguous because of the word bank. And this kind of ambiguity is called lexical ambiguity. Lexical means word. And this kind of ambiguity is part of semantics. So that's the difference between semantics and syntax. Again, semantics is a study of form of a linguistic expression relates to its meaning, which is the sense and the reference. And there are actually two components of semantics. The first one is lexical semantics, and the second is compositional semantics. Lexical semantics is a study of the sense and reference of words. And compositional semantics is the study of how the meaning of words combine to form the meaning of a sentence. And we will be discussing first lexical semantics. So, lexical semantics is a study of sense and reference, or the meaning of a word. So, how do we get the meaning of a certain word? There are actually two aspects of meaning, which is the sense and the reference. Sense is the mental representation of a meaning, while reference is the actual entities in the world that an utterance refers to. So let's consider the conversation between these two ladies. Let's say one of the ladies is talking about the cup on the table, and she said, "That cup." The lady she's talking to, will automatically picture out an image of a cup in her mind. So that concept in her mind is now the sense of the word cup. The reference is the physical cup on the table. So that is the sense and the reference of a word. So, sense is the mental representation of a linguistic expression, while reference is the set of real object or the physical object that a linguistic utterance refers to. However, some expression have sense but have no reference. For example, when you hear the word unicorn, you will think that a unicorn is a horse like four legged creature with one horn on its forehead, probably has a magic power on it. However, we haven't seen any unicorn, a physical unicorn. So it's an empty set in a world. So that is an example of some expression that have sense but no reference. All words in the language are linked in a web of semantic relationships. Say, for example, the word dog and poodle. So, poodle is related to dogs because all poodles are dog, but not all dogs are poodle, right? And dog is also related to animals because all dogs are animals. And cat is also related to animals, and cow is also related to animals. So all words in a language are linked in a web of semantic relationships which can be identified through their reference. So we will now be discussing the relationship between words. Let's focus on the relationship between the dog and the poodle, for example. So, what is the relationship between these words, the dog and the poodle? So, let's think about the reference because we will be identifying their relationship through the reference. So, here are examples of dogs. We have the Pomeranian, the Husky, and Poodle is actually there. So as you can see on that example, the reference of a poodle is a subset of the reference of dog. So all poodles are dogs, but not all dogs are poodles. So as you can see, poodle is a subset of the word dog. Therefore, poodle is a hyponym of dog. And dog is the superset of the word poodle. Therefore, the word dog is a hypernym of poodle. And this kind of relationship is called hypernymy. So X is a hypernym of Y if the reference of y is a subset of the reference of x. So in our example, the hypernym here is the word dog. X is a hyponym of y if the reference of y is a subset of the reference of x. And here, their hyponym is the word poodle. So the relationship is called hypernymy. But what about these words? What is the relationship between these words? House and home. So let's take a look at the reference of these words. Here are the examples. As you can see, house and home refer to the same set of individuals, same set of reference. Therefore, house and home are synonyms. Synonyms are words or expressions that have the same meaning in some or all context. And this kind of relationship is called synonymy. X and Y are synonyms if they have the same reference. But what about these words? Good, bad, alive, dead, old, and young. What is the relationship between these words? These words are actually antonyms. Antonyms are words that are opposite in meaning. X and Y are antonyms if their reference contracts in some way. And this kind of relationship is called antonymy. So there are kinds of antonyms. The first we have here is complementary antonyms. So these are the words that are absolute opposites. So two words, X and Y, are complementary antonyms if there is no entity in the reference of both X and Y. So say for example we have alive and dead. So there is no such thing that is both alive and dead. There's no overlap between these two sets of words. For example, another example is present and absent. So if you're present, then definitely you're not absent. Another example we have is awake and asleep. So another type of antonyms is gradable antonyms. So gradable antonyms are words that do not provide absolute scale. For example, hot and cold. So let's take a look with this picture, hot and cold. So if something is hot, does it mean it's cold? Or if something is cold, does it mean it's hot? No. Probably it's lukewarm, right? There's something in between hot and cold. So this kind of antonym is called gradable antonyms. So that was the different kinds of relationships in lexical semantics. Now let's talk about semantic ambiguity. So what is ambiguity? Ambiguity are words or phrases that have more than one meaning. Just like earlier, meet me at the bank, the word bank has two different meanings, the financial institution and some like riverbank. So we will be talking about semantic ambiguity and its kinds. So the first one is called the homonyms. Homonyms are words that have different meanings but are pronounced the same. For example, the word bat. Bat could be the animal that can fly. And the second one is used in baseball, the baseball bat. Okay. Another example is the word right. Right could be the direction, your left or in your right, or the right could be correct, means correct. And the second one is letter. Letter could be a letter that you can send to your loved one, a mail, or it could be the letter in the alphabet. A, letter B. So these words are pronounced the same, but they have different meanings. So this is an example. These are examples of homonyms. The second one kind of ambiguity is called polysemous. When a word has multiple meanings that are related conceptually or historically, then the word is polysemous. For example, the word diamond. Diamond could be a shape, a geometric shape, or it could be a baseball field that has the same shape. And diamond could be a jewelry too. So that was all about lexical semantics. Now we can proceed our discussion to compositional semantics. So if lexical semantics is all about words, then compositional semantics talks about how the meanings of words combine to form the meaning of a sentence. You can figure out the meaning of a sentence by looking up the meaning of words. So, for example, it is raining today. So, by looking up the meaning of each word, we can easily get the meaning of the sentence. Raining from the word rain, today, which is happening today. So, this kind of sentence is compositional. What about the second sentence? It is raining cats and dog. Is it literally raining cats and dogs? Cats and dogs are falling from the sky? No. So this kind of sentence is not compositional because raining cats and dogs means it's raining really hard. This is actually an idiom. So this is not compositional because the meaning of each word is not the meaning of the sentence. And right now, we will be focusing our discussion to compositional semantics. So, we talked about sense and reference of words in lexical semantics. The sense is the concept in your mind, and the reference is the physical object, the real object. But what about the sense and reference of a sentence? What is the sense and reference of a sentence? So, the sense of a sentence is called proposition, something that can be true or false in the world. So, it doesn't matter if it's true or false, as long as it could be true or false. And sentences have truth values, they are either true or false. So, the reference of the sentence is its truth value. For example, what is the sense and reference of these sentences? Number one, it's more fun in the Philippines. So, this could be true or false, right? So, yes, there is the sense of the sentence. And what is the truth value? For me, it's true. It's indeed fun staying here in the Philippines. So, the word true now is the reference of the sentence. Another example, I have 5 children. Well, this could be true or false. So, yes, there is the sense of the sentence. But what is the truth value? For me, this is false because I don't have 5 children. So, the word false now is the reference of this sentence. What about green sweater? Does it make sense? Could this be true or false? No. Green sweater is not a sentence because there is no sense and reference. So, how do we build a proposition? How do the parts of the sentence combine to form a proposition. That is by following the semantic rule. Semantic rule number one: if the meaning of a noun phrase or an individual is a member of the meaning of a verb phrase or a set of individuals, then the sentence is true, otherwise, it is false. For example, John walks. So, John is an individual. So, here is John and walks. So, these are the set of all things that are walking, like this, and John is actually there. So, for this sentence to have a proposition, the noun phrase should be a subset of the verb phrase. For example, John should be a subset or a member of all the people who are walking. So the sense of this sentence is the proposition, and the reference of this sentence is true because John is a member of all the people who are walking. So now we will be talking about relationship between sentences. For example, what is the relationship between Jack swims beautifully and Jack swims? So one sentence entails another if whenever the first sentence is true, the second one is also true. With this example, if Jack swims beautifully, therefore Jack can swim. So the relationship is actually called entailment. Jack swims beautifully entails that Jack swims. Entailment is when A is true, then B must be true. And there are actually kinds of entailment. For example, Ian has a female sibling. Does it entail that Ian has a sister? Well, yes, because they are synonyms. Female sibling is called sister. But let's try to look at these sentences in a different direction. Ian has a sister. Does it entail that Ian has a female sibling? Yes, there is entailment, and this kind of sentences are mutually entailing because they entail each other in both directions. But what about these sentences? Jack is dead and Jack is alive. What kind of entailment is this? Well, this is called contradictory. Two sentences are contradictory if one entails the negation of the other. Two sentences are contradictory if whenever one is true, the other one is false, or equivalently, there is no situation in which they are both true or false. So Jack is dead entails Jack is alive. There is still entailment. However, this is called contradictory. They contradict each other. And that is all about semantics. Thank you for listening.